Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, who are you? It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, it is like crazy on YouTube. My goodness. Hey Freddie, what's going on? I do not know what's going on with YouTube. It was hard. I've been sitting here trying to figure out. They got so much new stuff. It seems like they come out, you got to watch this video and you got to do this and then you got to do that and then I'm like, that's why I wrote, hey Freddie, it was hard getting back on. It was, and you could see it's just moving around. She said, I love you more than you will ever know. Oh, Freddie, you know what? I was thinking about you the other day, and my phone, I'm going to tell you, she said, your intro never gets old. I love it. I know that's right. But so we couldn't come on Monday. We couldn't come on Wednesday. And I guess you just got to watch all the orientation videos or something just to come on. And I'm like, I just want to go on. I ain't got time to watch all these videos. So it wouldn't let me come on. So I said, you know what? The heck with it. I'll deal with it when I get some time and try to figure it out. But you know what? I did figure it out. I haven't got it set though. Like, normally I have everything set. And let me see here. Let me see what this thing is saying. I think it says 50% on there. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I was thinking, and I'm just gonna say this because we'll get it up and going and running and stuff. Where I do have to watch all those videos. It let me skip a lot of them, but I gotta watch them because it's not running 100%. So that's cool. That's cool. It's just things is changing. For a long time, for like 4 or 5 years, everything was the same. Da, da, da. They come up with one little gadget or something. But now it's like, oh, the background, and you're this, and you're that. You literally got to be a computer whiz now, almost, to get on to go live. I'm serious. It just doesn't even make sense. But if you have time and you figure it out, which we will figure it out, we will figure it out. The last time we was on was last Friday. That's how long it's been. It's been a whole week. She said my device will not let me pull any links. I don't know what is going. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. But we get back into the knowing all the new stuff, and I'm gonna take the computer down to the computer shop and tell them what I want and how I want it set up. And I'll probably do that tomorrow when, I gotta work tomorrow, but I'm still gonna do it. And because this don't make no sense that, like I can't have all my stuff set up and I have to just, I couldn't get pictures. That's why we were just putting on there, hey, we're doing this, we're doing a little talk. I couldn't get my pictures, I couldn't get nothing. And it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. It's like what we used to do, that don't work anymore. So I don't know the new information to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole different setup. So we just got to go with the whole different setup and learn it and do it and da 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 and whatever. But anyway, I had time to today to I haven't even sleep yet. I haven't even sleep. I haven't even went to sleep and got me a nap in because I've been trying to, think about, should I do this? Should I do that? Then I called my daughter up and I said, hey, daughter, I said, how do I even get my pictures? Because, I can get to the link to go live, but now I can't just tap that picture in. And, and so she was like, she showed me a shortcut way she was like, go to your Google. And oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. Like 90% of the stuff that I have, I don't even need. Like, I might as well just go ahead and start over or whatever. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm going to tell you guys why I came on here. And in between all of this, I get frustrated. And so I just go in the bedroom and I watch TV, but not really watch TV. I put it on the YouTube thing. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Only thing I was interested in to watch was Naziah Harris. She said, yes, I do. Everyone I know is having problems with their internet. Oh my goodness. It is, you know what? It's almost like a whole brand new system. And I'm sitting there going, like, did my memory go? Like, why is it not pulling up the things I need when I want to go live? What pictures I want? What the name of the, the episode gonna be, or what we gonna talk about? Why I can't put all this stuff in there and just go and do it or whatever? Why? Because everything done changed like that. And they're saying that it's gonna change again, but because nothing stays the same. It can't. And I'm going to tell you why it can't stay the same. Because you're going to have other apps like StreamYard is an app. And so there's other apps like I don't know what the names of them, so I couldn't tell you, but it can be Linky Dink. I don't know. Let's just call it Linky Dink. Well, Linky Dink is over there done got this new way of doing things. And so StreamYard is saying, hey, we need to go and have a you know, a background where there's flashing lights and birds flying and stuff. And so, and and we want our people to jump on the app and use this and know that we're not behind. We're not in 2003 anymore. We're in 2005 going in 2006. And before you can use this app, you got to watch all this orientation and learn how to do it. And we want you to use it because we want other people to come to this channel and use that app and charge them 30-40 bucks, because they charge me 40 bucks every time I come. I come on here, whether I come on here or not. It's 40 bucks a month. That's what I get charged. So I'm like, I don't want to watch nothing, but it's forcing me that I have to. She said, AI is taking over. Oh, yes. Hey, Tina Powers, what's going on? I see you in the building. So anyway, you guys, let's get into what I wanted to tell you guys, because, oh my goodness, I have had stepped back from the Naziah Harris case for a couple of months. And the reason why is because, you could just keep going over the same thing over and over and over and over because there's no new information. Or you step back, go over some new material, which was, Emmanuel, and we seen how that's playing out. Jake Dunn said that he's guilty of doing everything, and we're waiting to see what happened to Rebecca. And then, there's other stuff that, we had, watched and seen what was going on. But what was I gonna tell you? It's so much I need to tell you guys. So, okay. So I have been going over now, back over some of the testimony that was said at the preliminary for Naziah Harris case. And I'm going to share some with you guys. And you know what? I now know something that we did not know before on the Naziah Harris case. And I know nobody else is going to have told you this. But there's going to be some people in here that's going to run and going to tell another content creator. They're going to make a whole video of it. And, they got their channel up and running and going. And that doesn't bother me. That's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm going to tell you guys this. And you're going to see it come to be true. Now, how do you know something to become true? Or it is already true. It don't become true. It's already true. So, one thing the Bible tells us is if you want to know the truth, then guess what? It will manifest itself, right? It's kind of like Freddie said, what is it? I'm going to tell you. She said, do tell, give us the tea. I'm going to tell you. Like if you, and I'm going to give you hypothetical so you can understand. I seen the same information we already seen. Nothing's different about the information. But I learned something. Like you can watch a TV show. Let's say My Three Sons. There was a show called My Three Sons. And there's this one episode called 154 or whatever. We're just going to call it 154. So if you watch My Three Sons, episode 154, My Three Sons 154, My Three Sons 154, 100 times, and you thinking, oh, I know it by heart. You know it by heart. You know what's going to happen. You know when it's going to happen. And you can almost go word for word, right? Step away from My Three Sons 154. Go look at I Dream of Jeannie. You go look at I Dream of Jeannie. You come back 2 months later. You watch My Three Sons 154. And guess what? You see something that's right there in front of you. You hadn't seen it before. You done seen this 100 times. And you go, get the heck out of here. Are you freaking serious? Oh my goodness. That's it. So I went back over the preliminary testimony of Jarvis's sister. Okay? You guys remember Jarvis's sister? She wore the yellow. What was her name? Somebody put her name in the chat. Okay? Oh, I know her name. Her name was Tawana. Tawana with a Juna. Tawana. Her name was Tawana, right? Something of that nature. I know I'm right. I know I'm right because I could see it in my head. Okay? Like I said, I could see it in my head. Like I see her. I remember I talked to her before. So her name is Tawana, right? And she said not only in the preliminary, on the testimony, on the stand, she said that after she got done talking to Jarvis's baby's mama, that's when she started putting things together. Way before the podcast, she said. Before the podcast. And then some of her questions got answered. I remember something in our conversation that her and I had, and I went over it a little bit. And, I'm going to tell you guys something. You remember when they asked her the question? They asked her, do you know how many kids do you personally know? And and the way that she looked at her when she was like, how many do you personally spend time with or know? And she was like, I'm counting. She kind of had a little attitude. She was already getting frustrated with the woman because she's like, you're asking me stupid questions. Like, why are you asking me stupid questions? I'm going to tell you why she was asking her stupid questions. They're not stupid questions. They're trying to catch her in a lie. Okay? That's number one. They're trying to catch her in a lie. See, because remember, two things happened. And she said that, now remember, King went to jail on Valentine's Day. Remember, King said, I remember I went to jail on Valentine's Day. Da-da-da-da-da, right? When he got out of jail, we think that that's when Tawana probably went to go see him, because she said, I went to go see what was going on or what happened. They didn't let her finish the question. She said, I went to go see what happened and what's going on. Because they picked King up, remember? Then they let King go. King was at the shop. So she went to the shop. And they even asked her, Have you been back to the shop since, da 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 da? And she was like, yeah, you know, okay. They're trying to see if she's lying. Now, the thing about the whole situation, let me get to it, you guys. Because it's hard for me to explain it because I just, it's just weird. I'm all over the place. But she said she went back into her phone on the 24th or the 26th. He went to jail on Valentine's Day, which is what, the 14th, right? And she said that next Thursday, because it was the Thursday after Valentine's Day, is when she kind of figured da 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 da. And then she waited a week before she called Shannon and said, hey, can I have Shannon Jones' number? Okay. But they asked her, what made you think that that was Naziah? And she said she had talked to Jarvis's baby's mama. That's what she said. Did she say that or did she not say that? Okay. Think for a moment. Okay. Remember, he got new charges. Jarvis got new charges. One of them is a 20-year-old female now, and one of them is a kid. Everybody think that this kid that they're talking about is Naziah's cousin that was with her when they were at the birthday party. You guys understand what I'm saying? Tina, do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody think it's Marquita's daughter. Right? Think what I'm saying, you guys. Now remember, Marquita's daughter said that she seen some stuff happen at the birthday party and they had seen them have some sex before or whatever. But remember, there was a little girl and everybody say, this is Shannon's daughter. This is Shannon's daughter. I mean, yeah, because that's his daughter. The little girl went to go spend the night with her dad. And this was her first time. Now, here's the thing. The older girl, they would not be protecting because she's not underage anymore. She's 20. They still don't want to throw everything out there and have us talking about it. But just think, the only reason why we're not in the courtrooms and hearing is because this child is still underage. It cannot be that. See, that's a whole different case. That's a whole different case because that child is 20 and we're not talking about Shannon's child. We're talking about a whole different child. Freddie said, I thought Shannon didn't have kids, but Shannon, what are you talking about? Shannon got 5 kids by him. And remember, Tawana said she know 8 of them personally. Now, if Shannon got 5, And you got the oldest daughter, that's 6. Tina Power said, no, it's not. What are you talking about? No, it's not. What? No, it's not. Tina? And then let me tell you something. So Tina is in the building. Tina, I'm going to say this and listen to me very, very closely because this is true. The girl that Jarvis was living with named Angel that nobody talks about, Angel, listen to what I'm saying. Guess what? I know for a fact she got 2 kids by Jarvis. Y'all saying what? SP, what? She got, Angel got 2 kids by Jarvis. 2 kids. I know. You know why? Because I go back over stuff and it slipped out of somebody's mouth. Yes, it sure did. And I said, you know what? So if Shannon got 5, there's an older girl that's 20, that's 6. We know he's got a boy because remember the girl said, I loaned him the car because he said he wanted to go pick up his son. That's 7. Angel's got 2. That's 8, 9. The girl said, I wanted to pick, I loaned him the car. She got a child by him. Remember? That's 9. And then there's a way older kid that, you know. Freddie Shannon has 5 by Jarvis. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Tina's hit. See what I'm saying? When y'all back away from these cases, you forget all the facts. Shannon's got 5 kids by Jarvis. 5. Okay? She said, from what I read, he has 21 kids. Well, you're not going to get the total amount. Just like, any man to tell you he don't know how many kids they got. Yes. So anyway, what is the significance of this information? I'm telling you guys, here's the thing. Angel, the woman that he lived with, she got 2 kids by Jarvis. Could that be the woman that Tawana talked to? I know for a fact it's not the only woman because she had to have talked to the oldest child. And I'm not going to tell you why I know that for a fact. It's because of a conversation me and her had. And I can't repeat the conversation, but it was about the older child. That's why I told you guys there was going to be another child that came out the woodworks because that's what was told to her. You guys understand what I'm saying? But when Tawana was on the stand, she said, where do you want me to start? It's a lot. And when they said, well, what is a lot? And she said, they said, what was told to me, she didn't hear from one person. Because if one person tell you something, here's the thing, you guys. Come on. You see what I'm saying? Follow me. Follow me. Tina said, shut your mouth, but keep on smiling. And I'll keep on spilling that tea. Because here's the thing. Think about it. Not all of us are the same. But you could put yourself in a person's shoe and you say, okay, that's my brother. So whoever he's with, I know them. And he's been with this girl for a long time. So I talked to this girl. Okay. Remember the one child that's older? She said that was the first time that she spent time with her daddy. And he was over some girl's house and she went in the other room. Well, hold on. Angel. So Angel went out the bedroom into the living room and they summons the little girl to go in the bedroom with Jarvis. Yes. She said, I'm not taking Angel off the table. What I mean by that, SP, that has crossed my mind. Well, nobody really talks about Angel. She has not said nothing. She has not, they did not subpoena her. And I'm going to tell you, at first we were wondering, okay, why you not subpoena the woman that owned the red Jag? You know why? Because all that's going to come out in court. They're going to have to subpoena the woman that owns the freaking car. And then on top of that, they're going to have to, guess what? Nay, she going to be up there on the stand. Angel's going to be up there on the stand. And you know what? Maybe that new girl is Angel's child. Maybe that new girl is Angel's child. You know what I'm saying? Because why in the world, and this is what I think, because I've got all these brothers. And if a woman came to me, or if I call one of my brother's ex-girls or something, and she say, my daughter told me that her dad did this to her, and it's my brother, right? I would be like, really? Okay. First of all, and I know stuff like this happens in everybody's family, so don't nobody get the panties in a bunch. I'm just saying, if that conversation came to me, I'd be like, okay, yeah. Okay, here's the thing. That is such a huge allegation towards somebody. You can make a person commit the S word by just accusing somebody doing something of that nature. Like, that's not something that you want to just throw out there like it's a game. You know what I'm saying? But then you be like, you know what though? I can't accept that just because you might just don't like him because he don't want you no more. Or you just saying some stuff because you don't want him to see him with nobody else or anything. But if a second woman say, oh no, it happened to my daughter too. Now you putting two to two together. She said, after I talked to his baby mamas, she didn't say baby mama. She said baby mamas. So there's more than one child. There's more than one child. There's more than you even talked, and because Shannon wouldn't have said, oh, it happened to my daughter. Because Shannon's sitting there thinking, oh no, they only got a relationship that an uncle and a niece relationship. And if I would have seen anything like that, it would have red flags. Shannon, shut the door. You're a piece of crap. All them women, I'm not saying that they knew, but the signs was there. She said, that part, SP, that sounds like Henry Jenkins. Uh-huh. I'm telling you. And y'all gonna say, you know what? And you're not gonna give me credit. I know. I know y'all so well. You're not gonna give me credit. You're not gonna say, SP, you the one told us Angel got 2 kids. Because ain't nobody told you nothing about Angel. Absolutely nobody on YouTube told you Angel has 2 kids by Jarvis. But I just told you that. Guess what? Because guess what? Because I be doing my due diligence. Yeah, the woman he was living with got 2 kids by Jarvis. That's the girlfriend. That's the girlfriend's house that he's been with her for a long time. So Shannon never, that's why you ain't never seen Shannon just full blown, just full relationship like this is my man. Yeah, he can have this woman and that woman and this woman and that one, and they ain't living together. You know why? Because he got a full woman. And he just keep doing what he doing. He was just doing what he doing. Crazy, ain't it? That part, SP. Nobody. And you know what? So Angel is going to have to get on that stand and say where she was at on that day that they swing by the house. You know? This man was so bold. That one woman said she had been by the house before where he lived, so she knew exactly where he lived at, but she never been in the house. That's his woman's house. But you know, people do have open relationships. That's just sometimes the way it is. They have open relationship. And that woman may not knew what was going on because, you know, he works on cars. So he could have said, well, baby, I'm finna go drop her off. She dropped her car off at the shop. I'm finna take her home. And what nothing that the woman can say because a woman's in the car. Just because a woman's in the car doesn't make it that they doing anything. But I mean, when men work on cars and they, you know, women always seek out preachers, men that can work on cars. You know why? Because then, you know, what's the main thing that a woman want? She want to get to heaven. So they always want the preacher. I'm just telling y'all, I don't know why they want to go mess with a God-fearing man, but they do. Then if they work on cars, they you know, one thing about a single woman, because I've been single for a long time too, is you get a man that can work on a car, you ain't never got to worry about your car breaking down, because if it break down, you can fix it, right? And he got that extra income. He got that extra income coming in, you know, that's under the table, because people pay you cash money. It ain't gonna be no hitting a time clock. He go work on a car, pull a motor, shoot, that's $600 for real. Pull a motor, $600. Put a motor in, he can get 600. He can get $1,800. Transmission, boom, you're in there. You're in there. Guess what? Say, well, baby, you know, we kind of low on the money or whatever. Well, I got this job coming up, such car. I'm gonna get it towed on over here. You know, we gonna work on this Jag. We gonna work on this Jag. We gonna put a fuel pump on it. Always gonna be able to make money. Now, sometime it be little money, sometime it be big money, but I mean, it is what it is. But you can never know how much money that man has or make because he ain't gonna tell you. If he make $500 today, he'd be like, honey, I didn't make no money. And you can't say he did or he didn't. You be like, what the heck are you doing down there? You down there all the time, and you seeing you always broke. You don't have no money. You don't know what he's doing. And I know this by experience because my husband, he works on cars. And you know what? I couldn't tell you for the life of me how much money he has. I couldn't tell you. He tells me all the time he's broke. So I don't know. But if I ask him for some money, I say, honey, I need some money. These bills and things ain't adding up. And he'd say, how much money you need? Oh, I need about $300-400. The next day or two, he got $300-400. And I'm like, well, dang, why you can't just bring this home every day? You're just not going to know. But I'm the type of person, I'm like this. You know what? Number one, it ain't that I'm stupid or dumb or crazy or ignorant or whatever. You know what? I do me. And they can do whatever they want to do. I do me. I don't want to depend on no man. I don't care who he is. I don't want to depend on no man. I've done that before. I'll never do it again. Yeah, you may think it's great and gravy and all this other stuff. Wait until you don't want them, and then see how things go. See what I can do. I look at it like this. I don't want to have to need you. I may want you, but I don't need you. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you. Like, whether you here or not here, everything's going to keep going like it's going. Whether you put in or you don't put in, everything's going to keep going like it's going. I don't want to need you. I want you. And in that way, true, guess what? I do love you. Whether you put in or don't put in. But at the end of this whole situation, you have to look at, are you going to, be that person? You know what I'm saying? You could be selfish and be like, I'm not going to give this woman everything. Da 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 da. Well, at the end of the whole thing, I'm still doing the right thing. You know what I mean? I'm going to do the right thing for me. And a lot of people don't get that. You do the right thing for yourself, whether you hear or not. Because I see a lot of women, and what happened is they get with someone, whether they get married or they just in a relationship, and then they get frustrated because that person leave, and then they lose this, and they lose the house, and they, and then they lose their job or whatever, or the car break down, and they sitting there like, poor me, like I didn't want him to just keep cheating on me and da 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 and da 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 da. Well, if you kept your life the way it was, if you kept your life the way it was, where you were doing 100%, no matter what, guess what? When that person leaves, you still going to do 100%. And that 100%, guess what? It multiplies. It multiplies. It multiplies. It don't divide. It don't subtract. It multiplies. It just keeps coming. You don't never find yourself in a bad situation where you be like, oh, I got this boat in this house in this car, and he wants to step out. It takes one time for a person to tell me something like, I will do that. She said, I mistake and hid you, girl. I apologize, me and my dog. Okay, y'all, just don't start doing that. Now, we definitely do not need nobody being hidden. Oh, Freddie said, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, because I mean, we only have like 16 people in here. Oh my goodness, you guys. Anywho's, we can't even afford to lose people. Anyway, um, I was I was laying in the bed and I said, let me turn on the Nazaya ears. Let me go back over some of the preliminary hearing. And I said, something just kept on saying, let's look at what the sister said. And the sister was like, she was so disturbed. She was disturbed, y'all. She was like, when they went in the back room, she just shook her head. And there's a question that they asked the sister. They said, now, pretty much, why did you show up at the shop? And and the sister said, I had asked him before, prior to showing up. And so they said, oh, you did? And I'm gonna tell you something. They said, oh, you did? And she said, yeah. They said, how did y'all correspond? Did you text? You call him? And she said, no. She said, video call. Now, very smart woman, because video calls cannot be recorded, right? And so she said, what time did the video call? She said, I don't know, sometime. That was her answer. See, I'm telling you guys, I had to watch it again. And so she said, oh, they're going to go back and look on his phone and her phone and see if there was a video call. Because remember, he went to court that morning. So he was probably in court at 9 o'clock. And he probably didn't get out of court until like 10 or 11. Now remember, he was texting the girl, Nazaya. She texted him early that morning, and he did not respond back to her until 2 o'clock p.m. Because she said Nazaya texted him and said, text me to let me know you got it. Text me okay, so I can delete your number. And he said he didn't respond right then. He responded, and see, that's something that you guys didn't know either. It got leaked out that at 2 o'clock, he texted her and said, K. Being a mod, when you touch someone's name, you can hide them. I would never try to hide you. So, So, and I'm thinking a little bit, you guys. So he texted her at 2 o'clock. Now, she gets out of school at 2:45, and she was going to be at that bus stop. What time was it? Like 3 o'clock? I'm going to tell you guys something. I believe they're going to get real deep in the conversation with King. King and the sister is the key to a disruption on this case. Now, King is acting all smart. He don't see Jarvis in the courtroom. He been knowing this man for a long time, but he didn't see him in the courtroom. He's sitting there telling a bald-faced lie in front of everybody, like, no, I don't see him. No, he's not here. No, I can't identify him. Da 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 da. Acting like like he hard. Like, I'ma tell a lie in front of the judge and everybody. No, I don't see him. You don't see Jarvis in the courtroom, and he look around. Nope. Nope, I don't see him. I'm gonna tell you something that is true. You guys know he seen him. You guys know he knew who he was. And he sat there and act like he didn't see him in the courtroom and da 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 da. That's cute. That's funny. That's ninja talk. Ninja. That's what ninjas do. But I guarantee you, he will tell. If they squeeze King hard enough, he will tell. And I think he's already told. But he don't want to get no time. That's why they're sitting there talking about, wasn't it that it wasn't like you guys were going to go pick up Naziah because you didn't even know that was Naziah going down the street, right? He didn't tell you, but and until she got in the car, that's when he said that was his niece. He's like, yeah. They're trying to, because they know that he told them. He's told them. King told them. I'm going to tell you something else that everybody is not telling you. And I tried to say something to the family member that came on here. I can't remember her name, Kiana, whatever her name was, or whatever. That was kin to Naziah in some kind of shape, form, or fashion. Which is true. Which I was like, why do you guys say y'all got this overwhelming information? Well, I know for a fact they do not have a picture or video of Naziah at the hotel. They don't have a picture. They don't have her walking in. They don't have her leaving. They don't have her nothing. Nothing. They don't have it. And I don't care who told you they have it. They don't have it. They do not have it. That would have been overwhelming information that she even made it to the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Was she even alive when they came back from Ypsilanti? Was she even alive? See, at the end of the day, some of the information is adding up, but a lot of it ain't. Because King said something about that Jag, and the Jag showed up, and da-da-da-da-da. But then the girl that said the Jag was already told there 3, 4 days prior. That don't add up. That don't add up. Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti. Let me tell you guys something. When you look at Jarvis and he's sitting in the courtroom and he won't even look at his sister, he won't even look. He just sitting there writing with his left hand. Some people's like, I wonder what he's writing. And he's got tears in his eyes. He ain't got tears in his eyes because he's crying about Naziah. He got tears in his eyes because he's gone. He's done. He's like a Thanksgiving turkey. He's done. And you know what? I'm not happy, but I'm not sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to let him go. They're not going to let him go. No matter what. Whether they got information or not. You guys, and at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to tell you guys something. He did the grandma when she said that she needed her glasses. Remember that, y'all? Yeah. Grandma tried to come in there without glasses, knowing that they were going to have her read something or look at something. Why would you not have your glasses? Oh, my daughter got some. My daughter got my glasses. They like, what you up here for? You can't even see? What you here for? Oh, my daughter got my glass. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys something. This is evil at its best. But I'm going to tell you right now, and you guys, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm getting ready to say, but I'll put it like this. When I got married in my first marriage and it fell apart, I was angry. I was mad. I was wishing all kind of stuff on that man. I was like, he going to jail. I can't wait for him to go to jail, and he gonna go under, and da 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 da, and da 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 da, and all this other stuff. Now I didn't do nothing to help him out or anything, but I was hoping and praying that something happened to him. And then time went on. And I was praying about it, and I was angry because he was out partying, having a good time, and here I am raising the kids, still married to him, and he just screwing everything that wasn't nailed down. Okay. And then the Lord put in my heart. When you talk to older people, they teach you a lot. And the people that I talked to was like, just pray. The best thing you can do is pray for him. And then the Lord told me, don't be mad at him. Be mad at the spirit that's in him, that's got a hold of him. And God don't wish nobody to go to hell. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Because if you think God is sitting there going, yeah, he did that wrong, it's a sin, whatever it is. Whether he raped somebody, or whether he stole a piece of candy, or it was your child or somebody else's child, or somebody you didn't know. Because people die all day, every day, you guys. Instead of wishing the worst, like jail, which that's a given. He's not going nowhere. You ain't got to wish that on him. He's going to prison. That's signed, sealed, and delivered. You ain't got to wish that. But why do we not wish for, or I don't know what to wish for, because I'm not going to wish, but pray. Why don't we pray that God comes over him? You know what I'm saying? Like, have a remorsing spirit, or, we always say, we wish he'd tell us where she at. Well, how can he? Because everybody wishing him prison and death and all this other stuff, instead of praying for him that the spirit comes over him. Because if the spirit comes over him, I guarantee you he will tell. Right? Do you really want to know? Pray for him. Oh, he not good enough to pray for. Well, I know what y'all thinking. Can't get it out your system. Holy rollers. Mm-hmm. Some people sitting there talking about, I ain't gonna pray for him. And that's just something that, like, it's almost like we're no better, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. I know some of y'all saying, yeah, you don't want to hear it. But it is true. I'm telling you the truth. Pray for him, because, come on, Freddie. Freddie said, Jesus came to save the sinners. He didn't need to save the righteous. They're already saved. You know what I'm saying? Because that blood that was shed, it covers everything. And we're all dirty. We measure it here on earth. We say, you more dirty than me because you're in prison. Or you more dirty than me because you raped a baby. Or you killed a baby. Or you did this or you did that. But whether you stole a banana or raped a baby, it's still all horrible. Because the death that Jesus had to die for self, nothing he did. He did absolutely nothing. He was righteous. And then we're supposed to pray for the world, the people. Not the world as the world, like the body of the world, the globe, the map, the countries, the continents. Pray for the president, whether it's Trump or it's Biden or it's Obama or whoever. Pray. You don't gotta like them, but pray for them. Jarvis. And some people, when they get to court and they're mad, and they be like, I wish you this and I wish you that. It's crazy. I mean, it's a hurt. It's a hurt. And I know God hears it all. He does. He hears your prayers. He hears those prayers, you guys. But the blood, like, we're still supposed to pray for our brothers and our sisters. Now, period, point blank. And, you'd be surprised who you think's going to make it to heaven and who's not. You'd be thinking, oh, that person going to make it to heaven. They carry their Bible everywhere they go. They got the bumper sticker and everything, the T-shirt and the mug, all kind of stuff. And that may not be the one that make it to heaven because they have anger and they have hate in their heart. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that, and I know it's hard because, like when someone died natural, it's easy to deal with it. It's so easy to deal with it. But then when someone die and the death is horrific, traumatizing, or somebody take them out, we believe it's not their time. And that's another story. But we gotta start praying, you know. It's I can only say 3 words and then I'm like, tell me where Naziah. What? It's I can only say 3 words and then tell me where Naziah. Freddie says, I believe she is no more. She's in a different realm. Well, I don't know. Some people ask me all the time when people, I've got people right now in my family one's at the hospital, one's leaving the hospital. My mother-in-law, she just got out the hospital, and now my sister-in-law, she's in the hospital. So my family's going through it. Hey, Monique, how you doing? Um, so, Cynthia Drew, she said, I can't pray for him. See? Cynthia says, I can't pray for him. I know you can't. Some people can't. That's like saying, I can't forgive him. Now, here's the thing. It's not even our daughter. It's somebody else's daughter. But the thing about it is, you know, pray. Tina says, I pray for Jarvis to tell us where this child is. See, I knew you guys was not gonna see what I wasn't even going there. The Lord led me to what I said, to be honest with you guys. I was just telling you. I can tell you how you guys are. I was in church at this one church, which, I learned a lot of stuff. And this guy was there, and we was talking about forgiveness and stuff. And then he was angry with his sister because I don't know what she did. She took the money, or she stole something from the mama when she died or whatever. And I'm going to tell you something. People get raped all the time, and then they be like, they can't get over it. But, I'm not saying forgive the person, because, like, he didn't do anything to you. You know what I'm saying? But the anger and the hate that we have in our heart, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't like what has happened, but I pray for everybody, even the people I don't care for. I pray for them. Now, I don't sit there and say, okay, like the number one person in this world that I cannot stand is my son's dad. But I don't want nothing to happen to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's my son's dad. But, like, that man sent me through a lot. And then my daughter's dad, I mean, anytime that you have a breakup or something, a part of you went with that person, and they just wasted your time, and they be like, I don't care, so what? They move on and, get a new wife and have another baby, and yours don't mean nothing, and you be like, and here you are struggling, living in the shelter, and living in the car, and you know what I'm saying? Like, going through some stuff, eating ramen noodles for a whole month, and then they over there eating chopped liver and steak and ribs and pork chops, and you sitting there like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you be like, had I did right and not been with that person, so why are you mad at that person? Like, yeah. There's a lot of people in this world that do wrong. And you'd be like, if you pray for them, you think goodness won't come to them because you pray for them? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, you guys. There's a lot of people in this world has done me wrong, right? And And I get it where it's hard to pray for somebody that's done you wrong or that's hurt a child. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't have, you think you can end up in heaven with hate in your heart? Somebody answer that. Just one person, if one person can answer that question and say, yeah, I can end up in heaven with hate for Jarvis in my heart, I want to know who that is. For any individual, for any individual, it doesn't matter. If they're evil or whatever, God will take care of that, right? Matter of fact, He tells us, let me be your vengeance. I be your vengeance. Freddie said, I know that's right. I have to pray for me and my soul. It's not easy for someone who's wronged you or others. I know. I know. It's hard, especially if they done something like this to your child. You be like, you be wanting to take them out. You know, I know. I know. There are other unalivers I prayed for. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I know you guys. I'm just telling you the truth. I know you don't want to hear it. But, you know, every day that we have the anger and the hate, it's only gas and fuel for the other side. Yeah, I'm telling you. Freddie says, no, heaven with sin in your heart. Okay. And what is that? Emma magazine? A mama magazine? It says, not for me. It's all about balance. I can hate as much as I can love. Wow. Okay. Cynthia says, I can't pray for her. I'm sorry. Well, you know, each their own. But you do know what I'm saying is true. Are you in agreement or in disagreement? You do know that you can't have that hate in your heart and think that God's going to say, God's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have somebody that that's gonna go want to judge people," and because that's how you're gonna be judged too. And you know what? And I'm gonna say this, but we're gonna get off the subject because I don't want nobody to say down the road I jinxed you because it ain't no jinx. But I'm gonna tell you something that's so crazy. I have been called in my life a pistol packing mama. I don't play about mine. Girl, I know. I know. I'm just telling y'all. And you know what I'm speaking is the truth. So, okay, put a one in the chat if what I'm telling you is true. Whether you in agreement with it or you can't do it, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like we all have our weakness and our flaws, and we are who we are, and God is working with us, and we're dealing with some stuff. But am I saying true is a one. If what I'm saying is not true, put a two. Because I want to know what kind of audience is in this chat room. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna change what I say because 99% of what I said today is not even why I even came on today, to be honest with you. If you really want to know something, only thing I wanted to tell y'all was that Angel have two kids by him and they're trying to catch the sister in a lie, and that um, King might turn on the whole situation if they squeeze him loud enough. And I'm just being honest with you. Everything else we talking about is just what I'm saying. Like sometimes you know what is true. You know is what's real. Can we live that kind of life? Like, some people be like, that'd be hard to do. Well, if you love Christ, you let him deal with all of that. Don't put hate in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Jarvis has to go to purgatory. Well, I don't know, Cynthia. I don't know what's gonna happen. I know one thing. He's, and maybe that's why I might can deal with it different than you guys, because I truly know. See, nobody has to tell me. I know he's not getting out of jail. He's gonna he's gonna die in jail. He's not getting out. Even, even if he did not get a sentence for Naziah, he's never getting out. You know what, Cynthia? We are on our own journey. No one is with me, just me and Jesus. Well, I can just tell you guys, like, if we don't forgive, and I'm not telling you guys to forgive him, I'm just saying a part of praying for someone, like, and oh yeah, I was gonna tell you guys this before, and my ADHD is kicking in a little bit, but nevertheless, and I love it because some people can understand what I'm saying and some people can't. But at the end of the day, like, you know, when when someone has hurt you so bad and you can't just, like I said, when you pray about it and you give it to the Lord, it's not for the other person. Like the other person, it's not like you giving them a free get out a jail, or what you did is not wrong. No, you're gonna pay for your consequences of your actions. You're gonna pay for that. So Freddie says, I don't only believe in God, I fear him. Well, yes, I'm still walking the path of getting God's mercy. Yes. But at the end of the day, let me see. At the end of the day, for us to give it to the Lord it's the easiest thing we could do. Let me you know the Matthew 6:14, it says, forgiving others to being forgiven by God. So Matthew 6:14. So there's 51 Bible verses on forgiveness. I'm not telling you guys to forgive this man. That's the perfect, person, which we're not perfect, but you know what it said? She said, I've tried to forgive him, but I can't right now. I understand. I understand it. But oh, I was telling you guys, when I went through my first and only divorce, yeah, I was so angry. I kind of was like, I wish she get hit by a Mack truck. I wish this, I wish that. I was just but then it came over me, and I didn't hear it audibly, but I knew the Lord was working inside of me. Like, I would sometimes, hear because I was reading the Bible and reading the Bible and reading. I had to get in there because I was angry. I was mad because I wasted like 7 years of my life. And not only 7 years, that was not the reason why I was angry. It wasn't because he, you know, cheated and all this other stuff. I was angry because we had a nice business and I was making this business so I can quit work and it was working and it was bringing in a lot of money, which I wouldn't have to work a job anymore. We can run our business and it wasn't hard to do, and I was happy that it was working. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden he was like, I'm a just cheat on you and in your face and ain't nothing you can do about it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. If I would have just said, come on home, it would have happened over and over and over. It had already happened 2 or 3 times. What was I waiting on? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't gonna get better. It was gonna keep happening. It wasn't like, oop, I slipped and cheated on you, or I got caught up in the moment because you were sick or you wasn't putting out, or it was like, no, I'm gonna do this because I haven't got, you know, basically he was still soaking his oats. He's not done. It wasn't that I was a bad woman or I didn't look nice or the coochie wasn't good. It was because that's what type of man he was. He was a street man and he likes to be out in the street. And when you're out in the street, you have the women that chase the street men that they're very well dressed because guess what? Their wife makes sure they dress well, they drive well, they got money in their pocket, y'all working together, y'all making money, everything's great. So, of course, another woman's going to say, hey, I wonder, I look good, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cynthia says, my ex was a monster after we got married. Well, I'm just telling you. But Cynthia, we have all that discernment. What happened to the discernment? Did you have discernment? You got discernment now? Or did you not have discernment then? So you see what I'm saying? We put discernment on the side. Because you are, see, and I don't know your ex. I'm only talking about my situation. To be honest with you guys, I'm going to tell you something. And if you be honest with yourself, you knew it too. Before I married my first husband, I already knew I shouldn't have married him. I already knew it. But you know what? I wanted to do it because he looked good. I didn't ask God. I just said, this is what I want and I'm doing it. I got a nice looking husband and everything's great. We work good together. He looked good to other women too. Freddie said, yes, SP, I was upset with my husband because he didn't only betray us, he betrayed God. After all that was done, even our children and grandkids were upset with him. It was nice before, yes, I had discernment. So if you had discernment, then I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I had discernment and I knew that was not supposed to be my husband. Now be honest. Was that supposed to be your husband? Now, some people be like, yeah, that was supposed to, because if it was supposed to be your husband, he would still be your husband. If you had discernment then and you got discernment now, then you knew then that that wasn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? But we go with people and we don't say, Lord. We don't say, Lord, is this the man for me? She said he thought he owned me after we got married. Girl. But did you see it coming? Did you see it coming? Y'all, come on now. Y'all acting like y'all all new to this. You acting like, oh, yeah, people do change. But if you have discernment, if you have discernment, you would know discernment, they can change all they want. That is why you have discernment. Discernment is they can tell you a bald faced lie. You already know. You can look at people when they walk in the door, and you'll know if they're looking at your husband or are they looking at you or want you. Um, a person can come in, and you can know that they're a liar or a thief. Person walk in the door, and you done dated this person for how long before you married him? You said you had discernment. I'm just saying, not the beating, but God got me out. I'm just saying. You knew. And when you get ready to be with the person, you know that it is not the person you're supposed to be with. But we be like, well, huh. And God does not like divorce. You guys know that. And so us Christians be like, but I'm a Christian and God don't like divorce, so I want to stay in this marriage and da 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 da. Did he even tell you it was okay? Did he even tell you? You say 11 in a 11 years? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's some people they get married and then their loved one passes away. And 1.5 years. That's all. Well, see, you didn't waste your time. You got in and got out. Wipe on and wipe off. See what I'm saying? But if you say you got discernment, then you already knew. But if I'm looking at what you say, Cynthia, and we can agree to disagree, yes. So you knew. Oh, are you saying you didn't know? I just want to know. You seen the signs? You saying this was a perfect man, and then as soon as you said I do, he started doing all kind of stuff. But you had to already see the signs. Now they get worse. They get worse, but you know, you know, even with the husband I got now, I seen some signs of some stuff that I didn't want to deal with. Trust me, I thought, well, there's signs, but they're not bad. But I knew what I was getting myself into. I really did. It but over time, you know what I'm saying? Like, God is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I was getting myself into. God wants his children happy and loved. We did what you said because we wanted it. I'm not going to allow a man to beat me. Yes, no, I didn't. I've never married a beater. Come on now. No, I didn't say he beat at you. See. Until we realize and understand, I didn't say that while y'all was dating, he was beating you and then you married him. I didn't say, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you have discernment then and you have discernment now, then you knew before you married him he was not the one that you were supposed to marry. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Either you have the discernment or you don't. She said, no, I didn't. Oh, okay. So you didn't have discernment then? The perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtain a spiritual guidance and understanding. So, you know, okay, I got you. I got you, Cynthia. See, I didn't even know about discernment. Um, I knew about the spiritual world and things, but I didn't know it was called a discernment to know things without, like people be like, you like this person, you don't like this person. And it ain't that I like or I don't like. It's just some people I'll deal with and some people I won't. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know why sometimes I won't deal with certain people. And it was the discernment, you know? What does God say about discernment? God says discernment is a crucial spiritual ability, encouraging believers to examine all things carefully to distinguish good from evil and truth from falsehood. Scripture commands believers to actively seek discernment to understand God's will, live righteously, and avoid worldly uh, conform, uh, uh, conformment. It is a skill that is developed through a relationship with God, prayer, and applying biblical principles rather than by one's own understanding. You know? Freddie said, of course I knew. Girl, I knew too. I knew when I said I do to that quitter. And I said, okay, here we go. I did not ask for God's approval. I didn't ask him what he think about it. I didn't ask him was he mine. He just looked it good. He said everything right. We were going to the top. She said, well, I was dumb, but I got God sense. Okay. Intuition, that is what I felt and did it anyway. Girl, I'm telling you. There's 6 qualities of discernment. You guys, and we're going to get off of here in a minute, but I want to tell you the 6 qualities of discernment. The love for God, call to ministry, love for people, wisdom, fruitfulness, and potential. Okay? Those are the 6 qualities of discernment. If you guys did not know that, you know, go off more into, uh, you know, in the Bible and read up on the discernment, and you can get some understanding. It says there are 6 qualities. Love for God is always going to be number 1. The call to ministry. Okay. Love for people, wisdom, fruitfulness, and potential. Love for God, call to ministry, love for people, wisdom, fruitfulness, and potential. These qualities are explored in the context of a candidate relationship to Christ, the church, the world, and self. What is the first rule of discernment? But the first rule of discernment is simple. It is to recognize and obey what the Lord tells us to do through the church. That is the first rule, you guys. First among those rules, discernment only take place when a decision must be made between 2 seemingly good options. How do you tell if you have the gift of discernment? If you want to know how you have the gift of discernment, it says if you constantly recognize deception, this is how you know you have discernment. If you continuously recognize deception, having a strong spiritual sensitivity to people and places, and make sound judgment that leads to positive outcomes, those are key indicators, including knowing when someone is lying, feeling uneasy in certain spiritual atmospheres, and having a deep intuition that helps you see beyond the surface of things. This gift can also manifest as feeling set apart or different from others because you perceive a deeper spiritual reality they don't. Okay? Recognizing deception, spiritual sensitivity, intuition, insight, feeling different or set apart, ability to guide others, and sensitivity to environments, critical and challenging minds. What true discernment is not constant negativity or criticism. True discernment is not about being overly negative, judgmental, or creating unnecessary drama. It's about discerning truth for clarity and guidance. Based solely on emotions, this is what it's not. While intuition is a part true, discernment is grounded in spiritual truth in God's world, not just personal feelings. What are discerning signs from God? Learning to think God's thoughts after Him, practically and spiritually. It means having a sense of how things look in God's eyes and seeing. That that is the key right there. She said, I'm glad to be amongst the living. Yes, at 64, I know now. Thank God. So discernment is thinking God's thoughts after him, practically and spiritually. You be like, that's what I just asked you guys. I just asked you guys that. You know, you stand in front of God and you say, oh, God say, okay, come here. Come here, Cynthia. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. You say you hate this guy named Jarvis and all of this. Okay, you want to make it in these pearly gates. What did he do to you? And Cynthia say, well, he took out Naziah. Okay, do you know that for a fact, Cynthia? What do you think? Should he go to the bottomless pit where the fire is so strong that forever and ever and ever? Because my wish, my son died for the sinners. My wish that when he died on that cross, I don't even see your sins, but you want me to see his? I don't know. I'm just saying. So sometimes when I say something, you guys, I'm not trying to be all spiritual. I'm just saying, like, that's not why I came on to say what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, remember back in the day, we would always say, what would Jesus do? That's gone. You don't hear nobody say, what would Jesus do now? Because that was too positive. Because it would make you think, what would Jesus do? You know what I'm saying? What would Jesus do? She said, well, no, girl, let me tell you something. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you think and how God's going to handle. I know when you have a relationship with the Lord, you will start, it's kind of like birds of a feather flock together. When you have a relationship with God and you read his word or you know his word and you think of his word and you think how he maneuvered, how the wind blows and how the sun set and how it comes down and like the tree blow, like nothing in this world happens unless he allows it to happen. So, he's going to have full control. And some people think, no, he don't have control because, the people that's atheists and they be like, but SP, if he had full control, why do we have hurricanes and tornadoes and tsunamis and stuff? If he had full control, he don't have full control. I said, girl, if you don't stop, unless the Bible is a fairy tale, I believe the word. And I can't remember who was it. Was it Peter? I don't think it was Peter. Oh man, it wasn't Peter. It wasn't Peter. Uh, who was the one that asked God to uh keep the sun up for longer or whatever? I can't remember who it was now, but he can do what he want to do. It's his, and if it teaches us by consequences, because we are bad, we are horrible. I mean, we think bad, and you know, it's anything we do. I mean, even we can't even call what we do good, but you know what I'm saying, you guys. Like it's because of the blood that we'll go to heaven. I'm just saying, like when I talk to the Lord and I say, if nothing I can do can get me into heaven, and nothing I can't do can't keep me out of heaven, it's because I believe in Christ, the Son. But I do want to be a, a good ambassador for the Lord. I don't want to be where people be like, she's a Christian and she's sitting there saying, I hate him. I don't know. Because, or, like, have you ever went to church and people in the church, they these holy roller Christians, and they in there and they crying, and you be like, oh, the husband left them, or the kid got ran over by the bus or whatever, or the house caught on fire and the child died, and they're just so hurt or whatever. And you be like, man, you be a Christian, and and you're this sad, you be looking at, we're not supposed to be sad in this world. I mean, the Lord tells us, people are watching us, and as Christians or whatever, you know, we're supposed to wash our face, and no matter what we're going through, just trust in Him, and whatever it is, be like the three he the three, I almost said Egyptians, but the three, um was the Hebrews, the ones that what was his name? I always want to call them the three that was like put in the fire, and they wanted him to bow down to the king, and they said no, they wasn't gonna do it no matter what. And if God comes quicker, they'll be with him even faster. The three Hebrew boys, whatever. Um, and and that tells me that I am actually um, gonna start going to a Bible class again. She said, I believe in divine justice. Okay. The three Hebrew boys, meaning Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. See, the three Hebrew boys, y'all, yeah. They said, who were thrown into the furious fire by the Babylon king, Nebuchadnezzar, but was miraculously saved. And you know what they said? They was like, they was not going to bow down. And if God did not save them, they said the only thing that can happen to them is that they was going to be with the Lord quicker. And I want you guys to keep that on your mind. I'm going to get off of here. We've been on here a little bit longer than what I thought we was, but it was nice talking to you guys. I was just, like I said, I was thinking about Naziah Harris today, and I'm going to go do some more. But they refused to bow down. They refused to bow down to an idol. And you know, That's just the way life is. But I mean, we just jumped on to something else. But I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. It was nice chatting with you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share, come back. We will be on here Monday. I'm gonna figure this stuff out over the weekend. I definitely am. I love you guys. Be good, be nice to each other. Bye.